It is episode 2. Good sign so far. It means that I've actually recorded and edited an episode 2 and not given up on it yet. Good morning, everyone. I hope you had an awesome week and you are ready to chat about cosplay conventions. I have been going to conventions since I was in high school and I have a lot to say. Today, I won't be talking about how to find conventions or why you should go to them, but more of like, this is what a convention is type of situation. Personally, I think it's pretty easy to find conventions. Just Google anime convention, comic convention. You'll find plenty around you. So let's just get right into it. Get started. Get your makeup brushes out and let's just go for it. Conventions suck. I have to start by saying that conventions suck. And I'm going to say it honestly. When you go to the physical convention itself, it's not just like a safe haven where people who enjoy the same type of media get together and become friends and have a great time. Where conventions are fun, cosplay absolutely does not equal consent, and there are a lot of creeps who don't quite understand that, who attend. If you're a minor, please be mindful that conventions are adult spaces, so you should bring an adult with you, just for safety. Like I said, conventions are adult spaces. Yeah, they're adult spaces. How many times do I have to say it? I don't know, but I typed it a bunch in this. Where minors are permitted to attend, most conventions won't allow anyone 16 or younger to attend without an adult. And even if you are 16, you're still a minor. So you could still be put in unsafe situations. Even if you aren't a minor, you could be put in unsafe situations. Because conventions have a lot of things to pay for, like badges, hotel rooms, meals, transportations. Conventions are primarily for adults who work jobs and have the money to spend on it, not for children. If you're a minor, please be mindful of what characters you cosplay and what people you keep by you. Most people will assume that you are an adult and treat you as such at these conventions. All right, now conventions are fun. They're so fun. I love conventions. I think that was enough warning, so let's talk about some of the fun things that you can do at conventions. I have been to conventions for multiple reasons personally. I've been to conventions to compete, to get pictures taken, to spend all my money, and just to hang out. Each convention experience is different, and there are plenty more reasons why people who go to conventions go to conventions. I'm not going to touch so much on the cosplay competitions or masquerades right now because I do want to do a more in-depth episode on them, so let's just talk about photographers first. Convention photographers. If you go to a convention, you'll meet lots of awesome photographers. Typically, as you scroll through the hashtag, like through Instagram before the convention for it, like hashtag AnimeCon 2021, you'll be able to find photographers who have bookings available with their rates for the weekend. It's an awesome way to get nice pictures of your costumes. I used to do that, like primarily, I'd literally go with 7 costumes and it would just be photo shoot, because I wanted to get good pictures. There will also be photographers just roaming around who might ask to take pictures of you, and they'll most likely give you their business cards so that you can find them after the convention to see the pictures and purchase like them there. Normally these photographers will ask to just take the pictures of you in the hallway or wherever they found you, but sometimes they might ask you to move to a second location. Do not go off with a photographer that you don't know alone. If you're with other people and you're comfortable moving locations, you can, but you should be careful, especially if you're alone and they want to do a photo shoot in their hotel room. That is a red flag. Don't go to their hotel room alone. Maybe don't go at all. Photographers can know really great locations though, so if you do have the time and a group of people and the location is still in the convention hall or really close and you are comfortable and you feel safe, it might be fun to go. Speaking of hotel rooms, be safe when room hopping. If you are a minor, stop listening. Stop listening here. Please stop listening. There is going to be a timestamp on the screen. I'll do a voiceover if you're listening to this in the podcast. If you're a minor, stop listening. If you're a minor, you can come back at 6 minutes and 19 seconds. For those who like to party, drink some drinks, not condoning any underage drinking, smoking, or vaping, do not do that. It is illegal. But if you do, please be safe about it. You know, all the fun stuff. You might find that the rave isn't your scene if you like partying and you'd rather room hop. If you go with the right people, it can be really fun, but you need to be careful. You probably won't know any of the people whose rooms that you'll be going to besides meeting them a few hours prior, so always bring friends, keep your phones charged up, and share the location with other friends who aren't room hopping with you, just in case something happens. Also, if you're staying at a different location where the hotel you are like hopping rooms at, make sure you have a safe way to get back, because walking in an unknown area at 3 a.m. is not safe. Don't do that. Call an Uber, please. If you're worried about calling the police, if you need help because you were drinking underage, at least in the state of Michigan, I believe, this is just something I heard in college. They like told us all the time in college. There's an exception so that you won't get an MIP, or a minor in possession, if you have a legitimate emergency or need medical assistance. So if you don't want to call the police because you're drunk, but there's an emergency, call the police. Just call the police. This is a tangent, but if your first time drinking with a friend is when you're room hopping at a convention and they say they have a high tolerance, be prepared for them not to have a high tolerance. This happened to me. This guy, he was like sober after a few shots. I was like, dude, what? Where is your tolerance? Because the entire time beforehand, he's like, I have a really good drinking tolerance. I'm really good. It's like fine. I have a really high tolerance. He didn't. The entire Uber back to the Airbnb, he was super drunk, super annoying. Yeah. Hi, minors. Welcome back. You are allowed to be back, minors. Thank you. Thank you for skipping over that part because you're good people. Thank you, minors. Another fun part of conventions is shopping. When you go to the dealer's hall, vendor's hall, or whatever it's called in your region, just be prepared to spend all of your money. You can find all sorts of merch, and there might also be amazing artists. I found some of my all-time favorite things at conventions. Most of my stationery is from conventions. Most of my stuffed animals and almost all of my keychains are from conventions. I think my best find at a convention was actually an official Bushiroad Maki jacket. It was like peak Love Live times, okay? I could not find the official one online in my size anywhere that wasn't like $400. I go to the convention, there she is. I gave her my money right then and there. I was like, please, ma'am, please, Maki jacket. But if you don't have money to spend, most of the vendors will also have business cards. So maybe grab a business card if you really like something, and you can find them online later. Panels. Another thing people like to do at conventions is go to panels. Panels aren't really my thing, but I totally understand why people like them. Most of them is just like listening to someone else talk about something, like lecture style. But there are some panels with audience participations which are cool. Like there was an avatar yoga panel at YomaCon 2019, which was essentially just a basic yoga class. That's cool. There's also like the Q&A panels at some cons where people like dress up as characters from a show and pretend to be them, and you can ask them questions and they basically have to improv an answer back to you. You should definitely check out the con schedule beforehand to see if there's anything that you'd be interested in seeing so you know where it is and what time it's at. Next up, we have the game rooms. At most conventions, there will be a tabletop gaming room and a video game room. At the tabletop gaming room, you can hang out with your friends, play games. Some cons provide board games, but some want you to bring them yourself. Most people play D&D at like the tabletop gaming room, by the way. And if you go to a video game room at most cons, they'll just have a few PCs, like Switches, where you can play multiplayer games. But at larger cons, the video game room will be more like an arcade, which is super fun. They'll bring in arcade games, crane machines, VR headsets, all sorts of cool stuff. And I'm always down to play some DDR, waste my money trying to win anime figures from crane machines. I enjoy the bigger like conventions game rooms. They're great. There's also just hanging out at conventions, which is fun. Something just hits different when you and your friends are sitting on the floor in a circle. Whether it's to eat a snack or play some games on your phone, it's just nice to be there with friends that you probably don't see all the time. Of course, you should try to be mindful of everyone else. If hallways are small, don't take up too much space, don't be super loud, etc. And there's nothing keeping you at the convention. If you're feeling out of it, there's no shame in heading back to your room to cool off. You're interacting with a lot of people, so it's only natural you'd want to recharge your social battery. At the end of the day, conventions can be whatever you want them to be, just like cosplaying. Just stay safe and surround yourself with good people. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. It's totally free and it helps us support me. With that, please drink some water, hydrate yourself, have an awesome day. Just like last time, tag me in any pictures of your makeup or cosplays that you did while like getting ready to this. That would be epic. And I hope you have an awesome day. Goodbye.